Alright guys, Criminal here. I just saw how many people have actually signed up for Evo for Mortal Kombat 1 and dude, it is fucking disgraceful. It really is. We're talking about the biggest fighting game series arguably of all time. Even bigger than Street Fighter. The biggest ever. Most iconic one. Most successful one. Biggest budget. Largest studio, everything you could possibly want. Insane amounts of money poured into this game. And I don't understand how it's possible, but Street Fighter literally quadrupled or even more so the number of participants in Evo. I've just I want to check out the number real quick. Like, how many people have signed up for Evo? There, I found it. Found it in like a thumbnail or somebody. There. You see the registration numbers. Street Fighter 6 is leading over a year after its release, with 5,265 players registering for Evo. You know what Mortal Kombat 1 is? It's at number 7 of the fighting games. Number 7. Below Tekken, below Guilty Gear Strive, below Street Fighter 6, below Grand Blue, below Under Night. Just above the King of Fighters with 645 players registering for the tournament. Understand these numbers. It literally means almost 7 times the number of pros signed up to play Street Fighter 6 at the stage where it matters. I want you to understand this. Street Fighter 6 is like a year older than MK1. No, it's not what I'm going to talk about. Street Fighter 6 is a few months older. Street Fighter 6 is older than Mortal Kombat 1. It is. I'm pretty sure Street Fighter 6 was already in the last Evo. It was in last year's Evo. So, second Evo for this game, and it literally 7 times more players registered. So in this one, after seeing the disgraceful numbers of a dead game, really, like King of Fighters 5 is like 20 years old at this point. The game is old as my grandmother is old. May she get good life. I love her. Anyways, King of Fighters 5 is so fucking old, and MK1 doesn't even have the double the amount of registering players. It is disgraceful. So in this one, I'm gonna be talking how to fix this goddamn game. And if NRS see this and they don't listen to this, fuck you NRS, you're a bunch of morons. So let's get started. Number one, I'm gonna go over it as quickly as I can to just cover what we need to do to save this game. That's what I'm thinking about. Not what we need to do for me to have more fun. What we need to do to save the game. And number one thing I will say we need to do is draw more casual players in, because casuals don't like this game, specifically not the cameo system. Many casuals are just not fond of the Mortal Kombat games changing to an assist-based fighter. I feel like it actually is a nice breath of fresh air for a game like this, honestly. Like, I really like the cameo system, but my voice is not the one that matters. More casual players just want to play with their friends, maybe some matches online from time to time. They don't like the cameo system. So in my opinion, what we need to do, number one, is create a mode without cameos at all for online and offline battles. Make it a separate leaderboard for online, a separate leaderboard for offline, anything, all of that. Some players playing with cameos, some playing without cameos, and adjust the two different modes as you see fit. That's number one. As far as I love the cameo system, but they can't just scrap it now, and players will just not love it no matter what they do, even if it was balanced, which is not. It's fucking broken. So the logical solution is just appeal more to the casuals, make just a separate mode where they can play without the cameos. It's just like the 2v2 mode in MK9. Players just don't like the ingenuity of it, so they just stay away from it. And because this game, you have to use the cameos and not have any other choice, many players just don't want to play the game. So that's number one. Number two, it's about time we got some modes in this game. So talking about online, they need to remove this bullshit. I don't know what the fuck is this. Coming soon. How many years is it? Coming soon? Like, coming soon for a bajillion years. That shit. I don't know what's even the point of that crap. Coming soon. Yeah, remove this. Why is this even here? I don't know what this shit is. Remove it. There's no point for this to exist. Just annoying in the eyes. There's a mode that doesn't exist. Stupid as hell. Okay. Number 2, we need rooms. They need to add rooms to this game, like King of the Hill type matches where you can play with your friends and certain rules and shit like that. Practice coming soon. It's been 10 months since this game released. For the love of God and Ares, how long do you need to add a fucking mode to this game? Another thing about that, why can't we go into practice mode while searching for a match online? I don't want to sit and stare at my screen for 10 minutes before I can find a match in this goddamn dead game. So add fucking training mode when searching for matches already. Another thing, we need more offline modes. Invasions is a fucking shit show. It's trash. It's like 4 hours of content every season. Nobody's gonna play this shit, and it's boring as hell as well. They need to give us a new single player mode. I don't know what it is. They can try and do like a, I don't know, a mode with like unique items, like the Towers of Time in MK11 was actually a neat little mode. Towers that update at least, Towers of Time type of thing, something, some more form of content. There is nothing to be done here, nothing. They need to even add, I don't know, like a roulette, test your luck, something. We need more content. There's nothing to do in this game, so people are just gonna drop it. And finally, let's get to the most important part, which is the gameplay, which is something that's very important to mention. So, I mentioned already cameos. We need a mode without them. I'm not gonna be playing it, but for casual players, they need to make cameos not exist in a certain mode. And now that we've talked about that, I want to talk about balance. And to do that, let me just grab a broken character, a trash character, a broken cameo, and a trash cameo. Okay, trash. Mediocre. Never used. I haven't seen somebody use its Frost since the launch of the game. So, what is going on here? I want you to understand that. Actually, I think a better example would just be to pick the low tier that was low tier since the launch of the game. Let's see who I can find. Oh! Motaro, my goat. Yeah, Motaro. So, I want you to think what's happening here. We've got, on the one hand, Johnny Cage, who is arguably the single best character in this game ever since it released. He was top 3 ever since the game launched. Ever since the pre-order beta, he was dominating. He still is. He's still arguably number 1 in the game. He has ridiculous frame data, insane damage. Very, very powerful in high level, counters, everything in between. Everything you could possibly want, this guy has. So we have him on the one hand. Perfect character. He has everything. Insane character, best in the game. On the other side, what do we have? We have Sub-Zero, who has been the single worst character since this game launched. I wanted to compare something. I wanted to compare this. Look at this. Look at this. It's really disgusting. Look at this. A corner combo with Johnny. Let's just do something. It's not even the optimal. The optimal corner combo with Johnny, no assist. 42% for 1 bar. Look at Sub-Zero. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Look at the difference, man. For 3 bars, I'm getting what Johnny is getting for 1 bar. And I want you to keep in mind, Johnny is getting it from a bottom that's very easy to get. This, I understand this. This is a string you're gonna get online a lot. It's not like the Sub-Zero one that you're never gonna get. So, we've got Johnny on white side doing this like it's nothing. Look at the amount of damage I do. Does that make any sense to you? Look at this. It's breaking 45 for 1 bar from a suboptimal, from an optimal starter that's very easy to get. If I get the equivalent of what he got with Sub-Zero, which is a 2-1 string, say Sub-Zero's mid, look at the damage I'm getting. I got this, let's say. Dude, he is getting 8% more damage for me for 2 less bars. And I want you to keep in mind, this is a character that's better than Sub-Zero in every possible aspect of the game by 20 times. He's a much better mixed-up character. He's a much more powerful combo damage dealer. He's a much more powerful utility. He has much more powerful utility. He is simply superior in every single way. And you've got this character doing more damage than Sub-Zero when he's using 2 less bars. How are you expecting your game to actually survive when it's like this? I wanted to keep in mind, this has been the case ever since this game launched. Sub-Zero has been bottom 1 and Johnny has been top 3 to top 1. That's what it's been since it launched. Johnny's damage didn't change one bit. It was the same ever since it launched. Understand the gravity of the situation. They literally neglected Sub-Zero for over 9 months, and when they give him a change, what do? They make this -7 on block instead of -12. Why was it punishable from the get-go? And what difference will that make? What difference? He's still doing negative amounts of damage. A lot of damage, right? 34% from a solid starter. What an incredible character. Meanwhile, Johnny's getting this without even breaking a sweat meterlessly. How are you gonna have a game survive like this, man? Do you know how stale it's become at this point? The meta is the same since the game launched. And same thing for cameos. Ever since Chameleon launched, she was undisputed, unparalleled, uncontested #1 in the game. It's literally Chameleon Kombat 1. It's the only cameo you ever see, because she's just 20 times better than every other cameo. And what did they do? What did they do to nerf her? They give her an HP decrease, as if that's gonna matter, as if that's gonna matter at all. So I mean, I don't know what they're doing, so this is the gameplay issue. This is the gameplay issue. And that is just a stale meta and a lack of changes. There is no changes to this game's meta. It's literally the same ever since it launched. Motaro has been terrible and unusable ever since the game launched. Chameleon has been broken beyond belief ever since she launched. It's just stupid, man. And this is why this game has died. More than anything, more than the cameos not being loved by people, the game dies, and the game died because they don't know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to balancing. They didn't give us a single patch that actually changed the meta. It's 0 meta shifts since the game launched. 0. It's unbelievable, dude. 0 meta shifts. And by meta shifts, I mean Johnny Cage being dethroned from the top 3. That's what I mean by the meta shifts. Johnny has been ruling the game ever since it launched. How can you have a fighting game go on whenever? How can you have people attracted to a game when a final combat competition, one of the biggest competitions this game will ever see in its years, literally has only one character in top 8, and it's Johnny Cage. And it's been this way for every tournament ever since the release of the game. And it's still the same. How do you expect the game to do anything good? As beloved as Johnny is by the community, he's an awesome character, as beloved as he is. When you have one character dominating the game for so long, and one cameo dominating the game for so long, nobody will want to buy your game when they see a tournament. They see the same character and the same cameo, they think the game is a fucking incomplete demo. So that's what I wanted to mention, and that's really everything they need to do to start to kickstart a saving grace for this game. Give us a balance patch, a massive balance patch, covering every single character and cameo, and that balance patch needs to have massive buffs for the entire roster, except for Johnny Cage. And like the other top tiers who have been top tier for a shit ton of time, like Chameleon. For every character and every cameo, I want to see buffs. I want to see some new character taking the spotlight, taking the #1 spot. We've got it now with Homelander, literally the first meta shift. More Homelander is arguably better than Johnny Cage. The only argument that can be made for a character being better than him is Homelander. Dude, give us a patch already. I want to see Johnny out of the top 5. I want to see him out of the top 5. I don't want to see him dead. I just want to see different characters. We need to have a meta where more than 2 characters are viable in high level. It's unbelievable how in Final Combat we had literally Peacemaker and Johnny. Only them in top 8. Nobody else. No other character was in top 8 except for these 2. How the fuck are you expecting your game to do any well? Fighting game tournaments are where people are attracted to the game. Hell, I know. My favorite fighting game of all time, Dragon Ball FighterZ, I got into it because I saw Sonic Fox against Goichi in the Evolution Tournament finals. Like in Evo 2020 or something, I don't remember. I got into it because I saw pros playing, because I was so hyped, because people were using different characters. There was a diverse meta, there were many characters that were viable. In this game, you have 2 characters and 1 cameo were viable. How are you expecting this game to do any well? It's not surprising this game died. It's not a surprise by any means, because they've neglected it for so long. You can't have a fighting game go on without patches. You need to patch it, and you need to patch it consistently every single month, and make meta shifts. Regular meta shifts every single month or 2. You must. You don't need to, you must do that to keep your game alive. Because if the game has the same meta since launch, it's gonna become stale and people are gonna leave. That's what happens. When Johnny Cage is dominating the game since launch, people are leaving. They don't want to deal with his ass no more. So guys, I wanted to mention this. These are the biggest problems of Mortal Kombat 1, and if they fix them already, this game can really get a comeback going. But the thing that drives me insane, it's not hard changes to make. It's very straightforward and it's very obvious they need to do it, but they just don't do it. I don't know why. So, yeah guys, thank you for watching. I don't know what the hell they're doing at this moment. I don't. I really don't. The devs don't know what they're doing. This game is gonna end up dead before the next year's Evo. Hell, charging from the numbers, it's a dead game already. So, I don't know what to do, man. It's just unfortunate. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.